Welcome to the Joyage Kingdom. I'm Cade, your guide. I will be replacing the lower voice inside your head for now, giving you a break from the constant internal monologue that is the human mind. I want to say thank you first for listening and viewing on whatever platform you're on. If you haven't already, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, join the kingdom. We are going to the fucking moon, so follow me there. Make sure you follow me on Twitter, Discord down below in the description. Podcast is going to surround a lot about mindset. I just got back from NFT NYC. I had a lot of fucking observations, a lot of fucking conclusions that I came to, just different thoughts that went through my head. And I think this podcast is going to be really important for me to kind of debrief where I'm at mentally, the things I noticed. And I don't know, I think these mindset things are important because I had a lot of conversations with a lot of people, a lot of fucking really cool people that I hadn't met before that event, and they gave me their insights on stuff, and we just talked and chatted, and I just had all these different revelations in my head that I wrote down on my phone on the plane ride back from New York. One of the first things I think is going to help a lot of content creators, especially a lot of people who are trying to build a brand, maybe not content, just trying to build a brand, trying to build a business, whatever, is that the numbers don't actually matter as much as you think. I thought they would matter to they do matter to a certain point, but like not really at the same time. They matter to a certain point. Like if you have like 200, it matters. But if you're able to get to like 1,000 or something, at that point it's just like, okay, you're in. Like once you get a few hundred, couple thousand, whatever, you're good to go. And so anything after that, the numbers aren't nearly as important, and because I know this from experience. I'm at 7,000 subscribers. I'm at 6,000 on Twitter, 6,000 on TikTok. None of them are over 10,000 subscribers, is my point. So none of them have that K at the end of it, right? And it didn't matter. It made no difference. I was still treated with a shit ton of respect. I was able to secure tons of business deals, tons of business in general, tons of connections. A lot of people wanted to meet with me and hang out with me and talk to me and whatever, and they respect what you put out, not the numbers you have. They respect your perspective on things, your honesty, your integrity, your authenticity and shit like that, your brand, right? And there are people with hundreds of thousands of followers that I'm friends with that don't give a rat's ass that I'm at 7,000. And likewise, there's a lot of people with hundreds of thousands of followers that I don't give a rat's ass to go talk to because I think they're a piece of shit. And I just don't care. You know, the numbers aren't going to help you. This is some video I made just the other day on TikTok, actually, and I posted on Twitter, is that someone having a lot of followers that doesn't make me specifically impressed, particularly because you don't know where you got the followers, for one. You know, it could have been all through whitelist giveaways. You have no idea where they earn those followers from and the type of content that they posted to get those people. So numbers don't impress me. Just because you can buy followers, you can get followers through bullshit tactics, it doesn't matter. I've gained all my 100% of my followers from organic reach, right? I've done like a couple giveaways here and there, but like 100% of them are from organic shit. I don't even know where they come from. I assume my YouTube videos and stuff. And so if you have hundreds of thousands of followers, it doesn't mean you're a good person. It just means that you know how to make content. And yeah, I can respect that side. I can respect the content side. But I'm probably not going to be your friend if you're a piece of shit, even if you have 1 million followers. Because here's the thing. I've had videos get seen by big people. I've had interactions with people with huge followings. I've had, online or in person. And it doesn't help you. You having that connection is not going to help you as much as you think. I thought it would help more. I remember when I had like 1,000 followers on Twitter and Journey Crypto followed me on Twitter. I thought that was it. I thought that was my moonshot after that. You know what happened after that? I think a couple hundred people followed me from that. And that was pretty much it. You know, I remember he reposted one of my videos on his main Discord or his Twitter, a video I did on his channel, on his project. Got a couple thousand views. That was fun. It was really like a lot of attention all at once for a couple days. And then it faded, and now like I don't even remember it. It was that irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, right? And so another thing is, I remember one time I've told this story like a million times. I can't wait to tell it to Gary V's face one day. Is I was supposed to have an opportunity to like get in front of Gary V, and I fucked it up by like essentially I had a podcast with Frankie Nines, SupDucks founder. He said, hey, that was really fun. Actually, I really fuck with you. I want to get this in front of Gary's face. Make a TikTok clip this, and put it on Twitter, and I'll send this to him directly. So it's okay. Posted a tweet, realized there was a typo or some bullshit, deleted the tweet, re-uploaded it, and he had already sent the original tweet. So basically he sent Gary a dead tweet, and I guess you can't double text Gary V type of deal. I'm not sure exactly. So I lost that opportunity, and it was the dumbest shit ever. And I remember being literally crestfallen because what a dumb fucking L. Like there's just so unfortunate. I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? And I remember being like, wow, like I literally, like he may have followed me, like all these things. And I'm like, wait. Now that I look back, like, yeah, it still actually kind of burns a little bit. But also, if he had followed me, then what? Like, nothing happens, right? He's going to follow me, then what? Then it's like, oh, cool. Like, then it's just, all right, well, fuck, and just do more of the same, I guess. Nothing really happens, you know, like, unless he picks you up and is like, oh, this guy's it, and then he like rides with it, and then, you know, even if that happens, even if he supports you publicly, you're gonna get a couple thousand people, couple months of hype, and then it fades. You know, it's just like, it doesn't make a big difference. And so that's what I noticed, is that the only thing that you should focus on if you're a content creator or a brand builder is building up your brand, building up the IP, talking about things that you care about, and also sticking yourself into places that you maybe aren't even, that you don't even care that much about. Like, I started doing this show called This or That, a spin-off of Gary Vee's like overrated, underrated show, and I just like Red Bull, Monster Energy. I'm like, this one because of this. And it's just like, not like it matters, but it's all building your own IP. People say, oh, I know this much about Cade, I know these things about Cade, I feel like I know Cade, so I'm going to watch him. And then when they see a video that's directly important to them, like it's an NFT project video that they're interested in, they already know all these other things about me, so they trust me and they like my perspective and they want to hear my perspective. And that's all goes into the same funnel, which is Cade Bergman, which is the Joyage Kingdom. And that's why brand building and content creation go hand in hand, and they're the same. And so the only content, the only brand that matters is yourself. Because if you're trying to get the attention of somebody else and you're thinking, damn, if I just had this person's attention, it would change everything. No, it wouldn't. The only brand that matters is yours. They will find you. If there's someone that you want to attract, I'm telling you this from experience. There are people in this industry that are huge that follow me. Huge fucking followers. Like they're massive accounts. And they follow me, and they came to me type deal, right? Like they followed me. And like I didn't do anything. I didn't reach out to them. I didn't dick ride them. You know, I just like did my shit. They saw me doing my shit and they said nice, and they followed me. But that was it. You know, it's just like it's not like it was a big deal to them or me. It was just like, oh, nice, I'm on the right track. And in that video I made about Coffee Man Dan, when he came up and talked to me at his event, dude, that guy's got like millions of followers. He's interacted and talked to hundreds of thousands of people, and he saw my content and respected it and saw something that he liked, probably something he saw in himself in my video, and fucked with it. And so therefore he walked up to me and talked to me, and we chatted for a few minutes, and it was amazing. And those little moments, you know, Frankie Nine, same thing. Frankie Nine's wanting to meet up and talk in person just to talk about whatever, like life. The fact that those types of people, the people I want to attract, the people that I respect, the people that I see their brand and say, I want that kind of brand, those people see me and say, that kid's on the right track. He's doing the right things, he's focusing on the right stuff, and he's not a sellout. That means I'm on the right track. But that's all it means. It doesn't mean I get a big head and say, oh yeah, fucking winning, like all these people follow me, it's so cool, so fun. It's like, no. Everything stays the same. It's just a good audit for yourself. To say, okay, that means I'm doing it right. So nothing needs to change. I need to continue doing what I'm doing and actually double down. Because I'm ready to take it to the next level. I'm ready to be the guy vetting other new people, saying, oh, that guy or that girl is going to be a huge person. I'm going to tell them, hey, you're killing it, keep going. And I'm going to basically be what they were to me, but in not in like an egotistical way, but just be like, that's just the natural next level, you know. And I'm building my shit, and it's been 9 or 10 months now that I've been doing it. You know, sometimes it's weird to think, because I feel like I just started a few months ago, but realistically, like 9 months is a long ass time, a long time, especially in NFT land. That's like the majority of NFTs right there. So yeah, the biggest thing I learned from NFT NYC was, if you're able to just focus on your shit, just really focus on your shit, and just like Gary Vee says, blinders on. The only person you're behind on is yourself. Just because other people are moving fast doesn't mean you're moving slow. It does not mean you're moving slow. It means you're just moving, and they're moving at a different place, they're in a different direction, on a different goal, different everything. It doesn't make a fucking difference where they're at or how fast they get somewhere. It doesn't affect you at all. Right? This world is abundant. There's plenty of room for everybody. Everyone can win. I think one of the strongest bits of my brand is the empowerment side, the thing that I always talk about. Like, you guys know my logo my slogan on the YouTube channel. My goal is to equip you with the knowledge and confidence it's going to take to navigate this metaverse on your own. That's always been the goal. I don't need you to watch my videos. I don't want you to need to watch my videos. My goal is for you to watch my videos because you want to. That's it. I want you to like me, and so that's why you watch me. That's no other reason there. And I genuinely mean that, because I know there's enough people where even if you stopped watching me, someone else would fill your void because they would need me during that time. And I also am very aware of how temporary people can follow someone because they need something in that moment. And I know this because I watched YouTubers. This is why I've always wanted to be a YouTuber, because I always watched YouTubers and I always saw them doing their thing, and so I want to be that one day. But there's YouTubers that I've watched for 6 or 7 months and then never watched them again. But during that 6 or 7 months, I needed them. And so I'm okay being that. You know, I'm aware that there's people who watch me for a certain period of time for a certain reason, and then they dip, and that's totally fine. And there's a lot of people who do that. And so I understand like how that all goes. And then to do it just a terrible transition is something completely irrelevant, not related to this at all, is a conversation I had with the Uber driver from New York City to JFK Airport. Dude worked his ass off, basically came from like nothing. He had like a single mom essentially, and it's like this whole like the typical immigrant story, right? And it was very inspirational. He was getting to a lot of the details. He was talking about it, and the one big thing I pulled out of that was the work side. Was the fact that, because this is something I came to the conclusion of as well when I was living in my car traveling. I was doing a travel photographer life, and I was just traveling. But I was basically, if you put it on paper, I was being a bum. I was traveling in my car, not working, not contributing to society. I was just doing my thing on my own Joyage, right? Which is great. And that fills up other holes in my life that needs to be filled. But then another hole opened, and that is the hole of basically depression. And depression comes, at least from my experience, and a lot of people that I know, it forms because you aren't contributing. And you know you're not contributing when you know you should be. And there's a lot of people who don't want to work because they're depressed or because they feel like it's the system against them. But the reality is, when you're putting in work, I think work's like I think the word work is really the problem here. It's like people think of work and they attach all these connotations to it. If you can just think of work as contributing to society, then that's how I thought about it. And when I started door dashing to make a little bit of coin, because I was like, okay, if I make a little bit more money, I'll feel a little bit better. What really happened is I started working, and I was like getting some momentum. I was like, oh, I'm putting in work right now. I'm delivering these orders. I'm making a little bit of money, and it felt good. It felt good to contribute and to get something back from it, you know? And that is what cured my depression during that period of time, at least. And so maybe just a thought. I think maybe a mindset shift is the biggest thing I'm talking about here. It's the shift from like, I have to work, I have to make money, to like, no, I can contribute to society. I want to contribute to society. This is how much money I can get in return. And during that time, if you're working a job you hate, then you do that. That's the part of the life that sucks. And just don't think life doesn't suck. Life blows dick a lot of the time. Like, it truly does. Even right now, I'm a YouTuber, full-time YouTube, and I'm having a blast. I love it. But there are still a lot of fucking days that absolutely suck. And I hate it. We adapt, humans adapt, and so we adapt to like whatever level we're at for a certain period of time. Like, if you're here and like, you know, everything sucks and you don't even have a car, then you getting a car is a huge boost. But then after a few months, now you've got your car. Now your new baseline is having the car. So now you want all these other things. And so that's just kind of how it goes as a human. But life just sucks. And so a lot of times, and so contributing to society in whatever way you can, even if it's not paid work, maybe it's volunteer work, maybe you're helping out a friend, maybe you're just whatever it is. I think contributing to something to make yourself feel better, like collaborating on something that's bigger than yourself. And that's why people who are rich and famous a lot of times will do charity events and will go do volunteer opportunities, because they say, if you're depressed, like I've heard a lot of people say this who are older, especially like in their 60s, say if you're feeling like shit, go fucking volunteer somewhere. Go do something for someone who has less than you, and I guarantee you'll feel better about yourself. And I think if you can do those things and change the mindset about how you're thinking about those things, it can really help, because it's helped me a lot. And it's not one of those mindset things that you just do one day and then you expect to change. It's just one of those things that you're like, all right, this makes better sense. This is a better direction. Let's just try this for 6 months. Let's just do this. Let's just try this. This other thing sucks I'm doing. It's not working. Let's just go in this direction, see where it takes us. Don't think too much into it. Don't try and get something out of it. Just focus on the doing, right? And that's another thing I learned on the trip, is the meditation aspect. Meditation is really fucking hard. In fact, it's like almost impossible. For me, I don't meditate that often anymore. I did during my travels because I fucking needed it. Now it's not so much the meditation, because I kind of did all that. I squeezed the lessons you get from meditation, the things you're supposed to learn from it, and the perspective you gain from going through meditation. That's the big key. The meditating part of it is the reward. Like, the hour you take out of your day to do nothing and sit there and essentially waste time is what's going to change your life. It's like going for a run. It's not like the calories you burn after or like how you feel after. That's great. That's going to happen no matter what after you do exercise. But it's the hour you spend actually moving your legs, running, that is fixing up here, right? That's causing your brain to stop running on a treadmill because your body is moving. And it's the act of moving that is the thing of really fixing your mental. And that's what I noticed, and that's what I learned through a lot of these acts like meditating and running. It is the doing of it that is the reward, the doing of meditating. And you can only really reap those benefits after, like a year later, when you look back and you say, damn, I kind of fixed my shit up a little bit. And you say, oh, it's because I meditated last year. It's because I went running. It's because I faced my demons. That's why I'm where I'm at today. But during that time meditating, I didn't see any results. During that time of running, I didn't see any results. It was only after when I look in retrospect and say, oh, 3 months ago I started running, and like I'm tremendously happier and just better overall mentally and just more clear. And okay, let me do more of that, you know, and you start to like level up and get better and better. I think that's why there's so many YouTubers who are in their 30s and 40s and 50s who have more wholesome content, if that makes sense. Like it seems like they're coming from a genuine place, like they actually know things. And it's because they fucking do. They've tried things. They've learned. They've lived. Right? And there's a lot of these 20-year-olds who have, like me, who have no real experience. Now, I'd argue for me being 23, I've gotten a lot more experience than most people because of random decisions I made, like leaving my car for 6 months, like quitting my jobs to do full-time YouTube when it was not smart and it was a very high-risk thing. I just took bigger risks really early, and that's a very common trend I see with people who are on YouTube or just doing content, and they're maybe younger than people think, and they have better perspective on it. So it's because they took the chances, and it's in those chances, in the risk, in that moment you take the risk and roll a dice on yourself, which is my brand, which is the Joyage Kingdom brand. It's in that risk that you show yourself you can do something, and that self-esteem that comes from it is built from those decisions where you say, no, I can do this. And I'm talking small shit, right? It's not quitting your job to go live in a car. I'm talking about you're sitting there in a Walmart parking lot and you have social anxiety about going inside because you're nervous about whatever. You don't even know what you're nervous about. You just are anxious. And you say, no, I can do this. And you make yourself go inside Walmart while being anxious, and you go get your fucking groceries, you come out, and you feel like you accomplished something. The better and better you get at making yourself do shit like that, the small things, right? Oh, man, I don't want to go to Thanksgiving dinner. All my family's in there. Like, I just don't want to do this. Oh, fuck it. Let's just go. Just go. And you knock on the door, and you go inside, you get it done. They sound so silly, but they're not. Like, that's part of, like, growing up and shit. It's part of learning that you can deal with stuff on your own. When I was living in my car, that was taken to the fucking extreme. You know, like, my car breaks down. I'm like, well, that's my fucking home. And I can't afford a hotel, so what am I going to do? You know, it's those things where you learn to be forced to be resourceful. And that's why so many people who grew up with nothing are typically going to end up happier later, because they've got nothing. They've been there and done that, and they've grinded their ass off, and they've had their face shoved in the dirt, and so they can understand what it's like to be there, you know? And depending on what your goals are, for me, my goals were to be able to go on someone's podcast and be someone that they were like, wow, you have a cool story. Let's talk about it. I want to know what it was like doing this. And I realized I can't do that unless I do something epic. I got to do something cool. I got to do something and roll the dice to myself, something that people don't typically do, that 1% of people have tried, and say, I'm going to fucking do it. Even though I don't believe in myself, even though there's no thing in my head saying, hey, you should do that. You could do that. You definitely could do that. There's nothing in my head that said that. It was like, man, fuck, I want to do that. Maybe I can do it. I don't know. You know, I'm going to just try it. And you guys can look on my YouTube channel. You can go back a year. You can find all my videos from when I was traveling in my car. It was rough. I wouldn't call any part of that trip fun. None of it. I don't think for a second I thought 1 second of that 6-month trip was fun. It was stressful, but it was necessary, and it was good. There were moments of positivity where I was growing and learning, but I wouldn't say any part of that was fun. 6 months of decision fatigue, 6 months of total isolation in a car, a Prius? Bro, it's not even a van, it was a Prius. That was some bullshit I put up with. But guess what? I learned that I literally not only could I do anything, you have to do everything. You have to do anything. You don't have a choice. Like, one great analogy that I love to use is you're afraid of heights, so you'll never walk on a plank, for example. Like, if you're, like, I use this for a visual example. Like, you're on a ship and there's a plank, right? Like in Peter Pan, like you walk the plank and you got to jump into the water. You would never get up there. You would never walk up to there onto the plank if you were scared of heights. But what if someone snapped their fingers and you appeared on the plank? Now, the only thing you can do is figure out what to do next. You've already got in there, right? And that's kind of how life is, right? What if you are put in that situation and you're not ready? Then guess what? You got to fucking deal with it. And what are you going to do? I don't know, but you got to do something. You can't just sit there and do nothing. You got to do something. And when you get to a point where your back is against the wall and you have to act, you will. You always will. And you always can. And I'm telling you right now, the self-esteem is built when you decide that I will do it. And you say, fuck it. And it's not going to feel right. It's not going to feel good. It's not going to feel like you've got this shit in the bag. You're going to say, fuck. And you're going to make a decision, and something's going to happen, and it doesn't even matter if it goes right or wrong. It makes no difference. Because what I've noticed is that everyone on earth, not everyone, a lot of people live till they're older. Meaning every single decision in their life has worked out, right? Worked out in a good way or a bad way, but they just lived. They survived. If the punishment for that decision isn't actual imminent death, then chances are you're going to make it. Even if it means, oh, I can't make rent. I'm going to have this, like, my boyfriend's going to get mad at me or whatever. It's like, you will survive. Like, physically, you will actually survive. Meaning, you'll be able to push forward tomorrow, and you will see another tomorrow. And so you don't have to put as much pressure on that decision, because every big decision in your life has been made. And guess what? I bet you can't name one of them. I bet you can't even remember one that was huge. right? The amount of decisions I made in a month that every time they came, I said, oh, this is a big decision. I couldn't name one of them. I could pick up one or two, you know, but there's hundreds of decisions that feel really big in the moment. And when you look back, you can't even remember them. They're so irrelevant. You look at high school, think of all the shit we remembered that was very stressful in high school. Was a single one of those important? Now that you look back, no. They were all speed humps, and they were all this level. They were all the same level. A couple maybe were a little bit bigger, but it doesn't matter. You survived, and now you're here. And it will be the same in 10 years. You'll look back at your 20s, or however old you are. I'm in my 20s. You look back at your 20s, and you say, wow, all those decisions were pretty crazy. But I couldn't remember a specific one. It was just the conglomerate of all of them, and me deciding to do shit that got me to today. And if it was a bunch of stuff that I decided not to do, then I'm probably in a shittier situation today. But I can make a decision today and make a better 40s or 50s or however old you are. So the big thing I picked up from NFT NYC, meeting all these people who are successful and older than me a lot of times, was that execution is the only thing that matters. It doesn't matter how much you think. It doesn't matter how much you ponder. It doesn't matter how much you plan. It is the execution of said thing consistently of a bunch of stuff over the period of 10 years that rewards you in the long run. Everything else is noise. Everything else is fucking noise. Because I have real world experience with this. I know it's true. I wanted to play college soccer since I was like 7. Like 7 years old, I was like, I want to be a pro soccer player. The goal, you have to go to college probably to play professional, but like that was the goal. I want to be the best at soccer. So I played soccer. I played a shit ton of soccer. Every time I had a chance, I was kicking a soccer ball. Literally, you can ask anyone in my childhood. All I did was kick soccer balls. That's it. And when I was 18, I made All-State. I made North-South All-Stars for the state. I played college soccer. I did the thing. And it's the active manifesting and so manifesting also played a big part. But manifesting in a non-woo-woo type of way. Manifesting has turned into some bullshit word that everyone uses. Manifesting at its core is you thinking about something a lot for a long period of time. That's all manifesting is. You want to be a pro soccer player? All right, put up a couple of soccer posters. Play soccer videos all the time, buy a bunch of soccer jerseys, have your cleats in your room, have like a turf carpet if you want, like make everything soccer so that you are always thinking about soccer and operating under the goal of playing soccer, right? And with Joyage Kingdom, my logo is fucking everywhere. I have stickers literally everywhere plastered, my Joyage Kingdom sign back there. Everything I see is Joyage. So all I think about is Joyage. Even my face mask has Joy. Everything I see is Joyage Kingdom. Joyage, every podcast, Joyage, every intro, Joyage, every outro, Joyage, every single video I talk about Joyage. There's a Joyage sticker on my camera, my hats, everything is Joyage. That's why I know in 10 years, the Joyage Kingdom will be huge. Absolutely fucking huge. I know it. 10 years is a long fucking time. It took me 20 years, or 15 years probably, to play soccer to get to college. And guess what? I was sucky as fuck at everything. I was also trying to figure out life. This time, I have one goal. One goal. And it's a very dialed in goal after getting through all my other bullshit. I took care of my shit in those other regions. Like Layla Hormozi says, take care of your shit first and then go and attack your goals. That's what I'm doing right now. My only goal, my only focus right now is to make Joyage Kingdom the biggest fucking podcast, the biggest fucking brand of all time. And I'm gonna get there because all I think about is that. And everything I do is in relation to that. Every decision I make is for that. And I'm extreme as fuck. If I'm saying all this shit and you're thinking you're a crazy person, fine. I'm trying to be an entrepreneur. I'm trying to be a hero in my head because that's what I want. I want to win. That's my goal. I want to have the biggest podcast. I want to be number one. I want the fame. I want the money. I want the stats. I want all the things that come with it too. That, like, don't get me wrong. It's not like this is all wholesome or whatever. Like, I very egotistically want to win this shit because I want to win. I want to be seen as someone who won, right? And I'm seeing that in small moments already, like good little, like, hey, like, you're killing it, like, way to go, from someone who's bigger than me that I respect. And I say, fuck yeah, I'm on the right track. I don't know why I want to win. I just do, you know. And I think part of it is because I feel like there's things in me that I want to say that I think deserve to be seen and heard by millions. And I think that's part of it. And I don't know if that's an ego thing or if that's a truly, like, me thinking, no, this is like universe shit that needs to be heard. You know, and like I will stop at nothing for my truth to be seen and heard. I think part of it is both. You know, like I egotistically want some of that, the power that comes with it, and then part of it is like, no, I truly believe that the things I'm saying should be heard by millions, and the only way to get there is to work my ass off until millions are seeing it. So that's just where my head's at. And this was an interesting thought that I thought of during the airplane. So, if you know me from college, from Charleston, South Carolina, before I moved to Seattle. We missed our graduation because of COVID. So I graduated in 2020. COVID-19 was the thing. So I missed my whole graduation. Did I care? No. I was so happy that our graduation was canceled because, one, my high school graduation was fucking miserable and I didn't want to be there. Two, it wasn't something that I particularly felt impressed about or proud. I didn't care that I graduated college. It was easy. I didn't want to be there. I just did it because my parents were paying for it and they said, you have to go. And I just didn't. I knew it wouldn't help me. I knew the college degree was not going to help me. And I said, why the fuck would I celebrate this? I don't care. Like, the biggest thing we did was like a dinner at my family's house, and I literally would rather have not had it happen. It was that level of I don't care. I just did not give a fuck about my college graduation. I did not want to be there. I'm so happy it was canceled. And so as I get closer and closer to my goals of becoming sponsored, of having partners, and being able to completely just make videos freely and not have to do commissions to keep afloat and stuff like that, is I think that crossover from when I go from commission-based shit to like, hey, I'm an entrepreneur now. I'm a creator. People are paying me for my time now, but not time that I'm like giving over them like a slave. Time like, hey, I'm putting in work in front of the camera, which is my favorite thing to do. I could do this all day long. This is what I love to do. I love filming. Editing is a byproduct I have to edit, but like editing or filming is what I do. Filming is what I love, and so I have no problem filming shit and being paid for it. I love that. That's what I want to do. That's what I love to get paid to do. I don't mind working. Like I said earlier, I want to contribute to society. I just want to do it my own way. I want to get paid what I'm worth. I want to put out the real value. You can't just make videos that have no value and think you're going to get money and stuff. You have to make videos that are going to get, they're going to give out value. That's why they're going to pay you. And then you can make other videos that you want. This video is not going to get fucking views. This video is not going to get a sponsor. No one cares about these kind of videos. There's like a few hundred people are going to see this at most, and I appreciate if you are watching this video. I think these are my most important, but no one sees them because it's YouTube. It's the algorithm thing. But for me, that hump when I do get sponsored and I do get my big deal of like $50K for 6 months or whatever, like the deal. I have no idea how it works. I got to talk to Max about that. But when I do that and I get that back and I get that check and I say, okay, pause. I just did it. I did it. I rolled the dice and I got it done, and I'm here. Level 2, or whatever level I'm at, out of hundreds. But I did it. I crossed over. Finally, I graduated. I graduated from grinding my ass off to get something, and I finally got something. It's not the end all, but it's something. That will be my graduation, and I'm so excited to celebrate that. I am excited. I don't celebrate anything, and it's because I don't have a fond memory of my childhood. Nothing was fun in my childhood. Everything sucked. Everything just came out of a place of insecurity and longing for something else. Now I'm at a point where I love what I'm doing, so I don't really particularly long for something else as much, but I'm excited and I look forward to it. It's a very different mentality that I've had, and I think it will be the first thing in my entire life at 23 years old, probably 24 by the time it happens, that I'll be genuinely so stoked about that I did, because I did every single bit of it myself. I edited every single video I've ever posted. I have filmed every single video I've ever posted. I stayed up and did the live streams. I went and DoorDash for 12 hours a day and then put in 10 hours of work online. I did all of that. I figured it out. That was the first time in my life that I figured it out on my own. Obviously I had help, but like it was on my own. I figured out how to make a job and a career in a field that was so in its infancy, and I was making more money than YouTubers that had 10 times as many followers that I had, and I had built an online business by accident, all because I rolled the dice on myself, and because I just said, fuck it, I'm just going to move forward. I don't even know where I'm going. I'm just going to make these videos and try this out and go this direction, go that direction, and I did it. I'm so excited for that. Like, I'm genuinely so fucking pumped for that. And I'm going to be able to employ some of my friends to come bring me on because they have real skills. And I'm like, hey, you got good shit. You got good shit. I want you on my team, because if you come on my team, we can expand this shit faster. Let's do this. I'm ready to scale. I'm ready to go. I need that check. When I get that check, I'm ready to bring him on. I'm ready to bring Bryce on. It's going to be lit. It's going to be fucking awesome. My content's going to go and do a 10x, right? My output's going to do a 10x. Everything's going to do a 10x, and I'm really excited for that because I've already manifested it. And like I said, I've manifested everything in my fucking life. My Joyage in the trip, I manifested that for 6 months before it happened. My trip to Japan wasn't manifested, and I think it didn't happen because I didn't manifest it. I was supposed to go work in Japan as a teacher, but I didn't really want to go. I just did it because I didn't have another option for a job. That ended up not happening, and that's why I went on my trip, which led me to NFTs. And so everything worked out for a reason. And I remember when the Japan thing didn't happen, my parents were upset, and I just pretended to be upset. I literally pretended to be upset, and I was like, in the inside, I was very happy. I didn't care a single bit. I was like, well, that door's finally closed for real now. Like now I think this is it. And so I went and jumped fully in. But I'm really happy, and I'm excited This will be my version of a graduation. I've always done things differently. I've never seen things the same way. I never understood birthdays. I never understood a lot of things that society kind of has for you already set out. And I know that it's not like a personal thing, right? Like, if you guys seen that new movie or new show, Loki, I'm going to spoiler alert. Skip the next minute or so if you haven't seen Loki. The end of Loki, you ready? Skip it. Please skip this. It's a really important part of the show. So if you plan on watching this show for real, do not listen to this next minute because it's important. When Loki's alternate girl, the girl version of himself, kills the dude, the creator guy, the guy in charge of everything, what I noticed was, for him, he had finally brought peace to the world. But the thing was, after a long time, the universe creates chaos because the people who are at peace are saying, well, this isn't my version of peace. I want this. I have to dethrone you now. Which is like so counterintuitive because like the whole point was to have peace, but it's not peace for them. It's peace for this guy. This is his version of peace. This is not my version of peace. So it's the same with like this life. I see all these like different holidays. And I'm like, but I don't care about that holiday. I don't care to celebrate Halloween. I don't care to dress up as someone else. I want to be me. You know, and like with Christmas, I love the Christmas music and all that stuff, but I don't care about the gifts. I think it's dumb. Like, why are we giving gifts? I don't get it. And I'm like, fuck this, dude. The Joyage Kingdom. My Joyage Kingdom will be everything now. I'm going to make everything happen for me, and I'm going to make all the rules. And in 150 years, when I'm dead, someone else can change it up. I don't give a shit. This is my reality I'm trying to create here. And I hope that in this video, in this podcast, I've sparked something inside of you to be like, oh, shit. Yeah. Like, that's kind of what I'm doing. Because when I watch podcasts, there's not one specific thing a lot of times that I latch onto. But it's more of the mindset shift the 1% shift that moves you into the direction you want. You know, like if you're watching, so chances are if you're watching this podcast, you've watched other ones, and you watch them because you like the mindset that I bring, and you like the way you feel when you hear me talk about these things, if that makes sense. This is because that's how I feel when I listen to Tom Bilyeu's podcast, when I listen to Gary Vee talk, when I listen to my favorite content creators. I like the way that they make me feel when I'm watching it. And I like being there watching it. And so I think that's probably why you watch me, because I feel like that's just inherently what I do. And that's kind of like where I draw inspiration from. And lastly, because you guys know it's a call to action, make sure you roll the dice on yourself. Answer the call. Because no one will answer that call for you. You know, in Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban, Harry realized when he was time traveling that nobody else was going to save him. It was always going to be him. And it always had to be him. And that shit was... It was in a literal sense because of the movie, but the symbolic reaction I was able to get from that, and years later, after having even seen the movie, but just like interpreting that movie differently, it's true as fuck. No one will answer that call. Nobody is going to answer that call for you. You will be the only one who picks up. And if you pick up and you hang up on yourself, you will be the only one who loses. It's only you. So pick up the phone and answer the call and change your fucking life. Go on your Joyage. It will be the best thing you ever do in your life, I promise. It's the first time in my life that I don't feel 17 anymore. I felt 17 for like 5 years. Up until like last year, I felt 17. I feel like that's a common thing to people to think. You know, I don't know when people start to change ages mentally. I know some people who are in their 50s who still feel like they're 18. For me, I feel 23 right now. I feel like I am very young, but I've done some extra things that a 17-year-old wouldn't, so I don't feel 17 anymore. I did before my trip. I felt like a 17-year-old kid at 20, at 21. You know, at 22 even, I felt like a kid. I don't feel like a kid anymore. I feel capable of shit. You know, I feel thicker, if that makes sense. You know, like dads have like dad calves, and they're like, no, or like dad strength, where like your dad will always beat you in an arm wrestle no matter how strong you are type deal. Like, I feel the beginnings of that, like growth, maturity, and stuff like that. And that comes from answering the call. It comes from doing shit and building your self-esteem through showing yourself that you can fucking do it. And so that's what my brand is all about. The Joyage Kingdom, Joyage, going on your own Joyage, is about answering the call to yourself. So fucking do it. I appreciate you listening to this video, because these are the most important bits of content. This is where I can just word vomit all the things I want to say in all my videos that I don't quite have the thumbnails for. I don't have the titles. I don't have the exact way I can interlock into a video. My podcasts are where I do all that, and that's why. Because when I'm doing these podcasts, I feel the power in my blood. Just like I can feel like my manifestations like going out there, and it feels powerful, and I know it's going to change the world. I know for a fact it will. And these podcasts, these podcasts in the beginning, my first 100 episodes or whatever it is, these are my foundation. And so thank you for watching this. I really appreciate it. Smash like in this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, do all the things. If you want to support me directly, you can sign up for my Weeble link. It's a crypto and stocks crypto and stocks trading platform made easy. I love using it. It's really aesthetic. It's on your phone. You get 5 free stocks if you sign up with my Webull link. So I appreciate as always using my link. If you want to see more of me right now, click on one of these boxes on the other side of me. Until next time, continue on your Joyage, continue to learn, and be grateful you're live watching this video.